how do I know if I'm ready to move on from my career as a lawyer and find a new career path?
I mean, I can hear it all over you. The answer is yes. What do you want to do?
Well, I really don't know. So, I mean, just for a little bit of background context, I'm 26. I'm a couple of years into practice, and basically what I've been doing is about 95% family litigation. So,
that'll take your soul from you. Yeah, that'll beat you up, man.
Well, I mean, like and I've wanted to be I don't know, I'm one of those jerks who's always known their career path right from day one. Like, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 10 years old. So now I'm just kind of at this, I don't know, crisis or turning point where I just, my whole life is flipped upside down and I just don't know where to go from here.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming you're calling. I've spent a lot of my career. I've studied the mental health of attorneys. I spent a lot of years with pre-service attorneys and with lawyers, and my gut tells me you're not through with the profession. My gut tells me that you are a couple of years into the realities of it, which means you're going to have to begin taking care of yourself and your external relationships outside of the practice of law more seriously, so that you can rappel in and do this challenging work that is family law.
Mm-hmm.
And my guess is, if have known you want to be a lawyer since you were young, you've probably done pretty good in school. You've probably been pretty likable. You've probably been able to kind of navigate your own path. And most young attorneys, when they hit the wall that is daily practice, and the way my friend, it's secondary traumatic stress, the way stress and trauma accumulates on you, they're unprepared psychologically for having to go do some other things so they can get their job done, because they've always just been able to knock their job out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about your outside of the practice life.
So I'm in a little bit of a weird situation for my practice. Like, it's definitely not what, you typically see on TV or anything like that. I'm with a rural firm, so we've only got 4 lawyers at the firm right now, including me. And I've got a really phenomenal relationship with my wife. So we try and spend as much time outside of work as we can. I, sit on some boards, just kind of advising them on how to do stuff. I've got some really fun, exciting, business stuff coming up on the side that I'm really hoping to kind of dig into a little bit deeper. Just like you, I play guitar, so love, the musical side of things as creative outlet. And it's not a case where I'm necessarily working, those 70, 80 hours a week that you see in those big law firms. Like, I'm still working the, 8:30 to 4:30 and then putting in extra hours on evenings and weekends where required. But, I've got a really strong support system at home. My family lives really close to me. I've got an amazing group of guys and other friends that, I can be really, vulnerable and open with and not be afraid to share my feelings with.
So where's your crisis coming from? What's making you question if I want to do this anymore?
It's really just the environment itself. Like, I love the substance of, what I'm doing. Like, I love, reading cases. I love doing research. I love, I love being in court and getting, arguing in front of a judge. It's just everything else, the noise that comes with it. That's been really hard to deal with.
Pull it apart for me. Be specific. What's the other noise?
Yeah.
Parents weaponizing their kids, watching kids sob. I'm just running through some things.
Sure.
Is it watching parents weaponize their children? Is it having to depose a 6-year-old? I mean, what is it about this job that is wearing you out?
I think it's just the adversarial nature of it. It's waking up every morning to a million emails in my inbox where it's clients getting mad at me. It's other lawyers getting mad at me. It's me having to deliver news to multiple people on a daily basis. It's, I very recently lost a lot of faith in just the system in general, of just really, decisions being made by judges that make absolutely no sense, and having to wait years to get into court to get any sort of resolution for clients, and knowing that, they're just, they're scraping by on a day-to-day basis, just not being able to deal with their issues and just not being able to help people. And just generally, like, the thing that's frustrating me the most, or I'm struggling with the most, is just how everybody's so unhappy all the time.
Yeah. And I think that you're out when making the shift from I'm going to change the system to I'm going to be a light inside the system.
Mm-hmm.
And nurses, physicians, insurance salesmen, attorneys, pastors, the ones that survive, that make it, have two things. One, a robust life outside of the practice. Sounds like you've got that.
Mm-hmm.
I would challenge you on how much you're actually doing things that are fun. You got a lot of business stuff. It just sounds like work and work and work and work. And I want you to challenge yourself and asking yourself, is the only fun you have with just your wife? Because one person can't carry that. But if you've got a group of guys, you'll hang out, you'll go do fun stuff, you're in a band, you play music, you're active in your local community, maybe taking some time off some boards is an important thing, because going from work to work to work and then having to do more work and then do more work, maybe it's just like, dude, I need to take a break. I had to do that. Quit being on all the boards and quit signing up for all these volunteer opportunities, just because my main thing I had to show up in. The second thing that people in those positions do allows them to keep going is they make peace with the old starfish analogy. Do you know that story? It's the old guy was walking along the beach and 1,000 starfish had been washed up on shore, and he just started picking one up and throwing it out, and then he'd walk a little further and pick another one and throw it back out. And another fisherman walked by him and said, "You're wasting your time. It doesn't matter." And he said, "To that one it did." And if you can make that switch, pastors can make that switch, nurses and doctors. I can't change the whole system, but I can make sure I treat this one person with dignity and respect. And I can't make people who are miserable en masse be happy, but I can learn how to tell this person really bad news in an honorable way. And so you have drawn out of me, I've never said this publicly, but the reason I say I'll sit with you is because I've learned over the last 20 years I can't fix much anything. I can't fix the system. I can't fix the way people treat their spouses. I can't fix pornography on everybody's phone. I can't fix every teenager in the world with Snapchat because their parents don't care about them. I can't fix any of that. I'll sit with you. And I'll light your cigarette with you. And for whatever reason, when I made that switch, I realized, I can do this forever. And so if you at 26, you're just having that existential crisis, everybody in the helping profession has. If you choose, all right, that's gonna be my story, is that I sit with hurting people. That's what I do. I'm gonna learn how to do that really well. If that's what you want to do, then awesome. If you also decide, dude, I just want to run businesses. I don't want to live in the messy goo of everybody's life. I want to start businesses. I want to do transactions. I want to do contracts. Then begin making that shift and maybe accelerate some of your side businesses and some business opportunities you have, and begin to make that move over the next year or two.
Right.
But yeah, you trying to carry it all, plus the system, plus the existential dread that your neighbors, that's just too much. Nobody can carry all that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention reading the news every day, scrolling social media. There was probably a decade plus that I refused to watch any news at all. Zero. None. I didn't have social media until I got this job that I'm in right now. And even now, it's just a tool. I don't use it very often. Because I can't handle it. I can't carry all that and be able to show up for hurting people.
Right. Right. So I actually am going on stress leave at the end of the week here. So indefinite. I've, just been in the process of, transitioning all of my files to other lawyers. And, I've got a solid plan on how to.
What is stress leave? I've never heard of that.
Right. So basically, it's just I'm completely off work for a while. I've got a really good relationship with my firm where they said, take all the time that you need to get yourself right. I'm working with a therapist right now to, work through all of like past traumas in my life that's really affecting my day to day and, helping people. So basically, I'm off of work. All of my files are being taken care of by other lawyers, and I'm just taking, going back to the farm for a little bit and figuring out if I do want to return. So there's no real set end date as to whether or not I will return to practice. So
does this give you peace or does this give you angst?
Honestly, it gives me peace in the sense that, I'm really relieved that, I don't have to deal with a lot of these files that have gotten really ugly.
How are you going to eat?
Sorry?
Are they going to keep paying you?
The firm isn't, but I've got other jobs already lined up. Like I'll be working out on the farm, and I've got a few other things lined up that are nowhere near as stressful as this job.
All right, so do a thought experiment with me.
Mm-hmm.
You get off this call, and you ask to see the principal. What do you call your boss? The chief partner. I don't know I know every firm's got different names.
Yeah, we'll just call them the partners. Yeah.
That you walk in and you say, "Hey, I'm really grateful you've been working through this with me. I'm going to go ahead and submit my resignation."
Mm-hmm.
Practice that with me.
Just saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's been really great working with you guys. I appreciate all the opportunities and everything that you've given me over the last couple of years. But I need to tender my resignation and move on.
There it is. That was the exhale I was looking for. Does that give you peace?
Oh, peace, sadness. I don't know. A lot of emotions. It's it's been embarrassing to think about, honestly.
Yeah. There's not something wrong with you if you don't like watching people who abuse their kids get to keep them while somebody who's a loving parent doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make you broken that a judge doesn't even read your brief about what's going on inside of a house and makes a ruling because they're either too lazy or they're too overworked to even read it. And you're not crazy if you don't like it when you have to call a mom and say, "I'm so sorry, but your quasi-abusive husband just got 50% custody."
Mm-hmm.
And she screams at you and says, "You told me you could you told me you could keep my kids safe." You're not crazy if you don't like that. Okay?
Yeah.
Did you have a rough family growing up, or is your family pretty amazing?
I'd say like 85% really good.
Okay.
I didn't get along with my mom in high school, and that's kind of one of the breakthroughs I had in therapy not that long ago is that, when I have a client screaming at me, I don't see them as my client. I see him as my mom telling me that I made a mistake, and
Sure.
I just wasn't allowed to make mistakes.
There you go. So maybe working through some of that. I guess what I would tell you, if whatever decision you make, neither of these decisions will be easy. They'll both be hard. So you're just going to be choosing your heart. Choosing to put a period at the end of a lifelong dream that once you finally got it, you realize this isn't for me. And by the way, my friend Lane Norton is a professional weightlifter. I can't hold up the weight he can hold up. That doesn't mean I'm less than or somehow weak. I mean, I am weaker than him, physically, but I'm not somehow less of a person. I can't carry that. And I remember my wife early on when I was dealing with a car wreck. I saw a car wreck. I pulled the car over. She hopped in the driver's seat. I ran out in the middle of the road. She drove home. I got a ride home. And she's like, I don't know how you carry that. And I was like, I don't either. I just kind of can. And so just because you can't carry that level of weight and angst and hate and evil, that doesn't mean something's wrong with you. That means it's just not for you. And for you, who's dreamed of this moment for your whole life, that's going to be the death of a dream. You're going to have to grieve it. It's going to be sad. And you're going to feel lost. And you probably like telling people I'm an attorney, right? That feels good.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yes. Different than telling people I'm a farmer.
Yeah.
And if you grew up in a farming family, you were the one that made it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you thought your mom thought you made mistakes in high school, I can't wait till she gets a hold of this one, right? All that stuff is going to be there and real. And maybe in counseling, you find out you've been living somebody else's dream all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Or maybe you take a break. But I guess the piece I can give you at the end of the day is what you're doing is hard and you're not broken. There's not something wrong with you. But your clients do need a whole and well you to show up and fight for. The second thing is if you take a break from the practice of law, your license doesn't go away, your skills don't go away. And maybe you take 6 months or a year or 2 years and you resign and you let the practice move on and then you reemerge somewhere else, doing a different kind of law or a different kind of business. And maybe one day you come back to family law when you got some wisdom, you got a little more strength, you get a little more calluses on your heart and soul, and you say, now I can go back in. So I wouldn't sign off on the death of this dream.
Mm-hmm.
It may be not right now, right?
Yeah. Well, how will I know if I'm ready to go back then?
I think anybody who tells you, here's the 3 points that you'll know you're ready to go back, is lying to you.
Right.
The best way I can tell you is when you decide I'm going to go back, your heart rate doesn't go up.
Mm.
I've been doing this forever. And when somebody says, hey, you blew it, or you're the worst, or somebody you associate with is evil and I can't believe, I still hurts my feelings, dude. It still does.
Mm.
But it doesn't set my body off. Do you get the difference?
Right.
It makes me sad. It bums me out. But it doesn't paralyze me anymore. And a lot of that's my trauma counseling. A lot of that is just doing this over and over again. And then a lot of it is I've worked really hard to be well outside of this profession, outside of the helping others profession. My marriage is strong. My kids and my relationship is good. I've got great, great friends. I've got a bunch of wackadoo hobbies. And so all those things keep me whole. My faith is strong so that I can go back in and do this really hard work, which is sit with people in their worst moments. And so I never want to, when somebody calls and says, hey, so-and-so's child just passed, would you be willing to go talk to him? I never want to do that. The thing I want is their kid to still be alive. The thing I want is their husband to not have left. But it doesn't set my body off. It doesn't make me go to fight or flight. I can exhale and head right in. And that's how you'll know. And by the way, I want you to ask a question maybe you've never asked before. What do you want to do? Not so much what can you do? What do you have to do? What do you want to do? If these other businesses excite you, chase them down. If farming is awesome, be a farmer, dude. You've proven what you need to prove. You got through law school, which is hard enough. Now ask yourself at 26, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? It's a question that very, very few of us get to ask.